Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will take a look at the best-selling book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Have you ever aspired to change some bad habits, such as waking up early every day, quitting late-night snacks, exercising more? But often it only takes a short while before you give up on your original goals. We all know that habits can determine one's destiny, but why is it so hard to cultivate a good habit? The author James had gone through the lows in his life, but eventually stood up again through the power of habits. In this book he shared a lot of valuable experience and techniques that benefited me immensely. Today I will share with you the core ideas of this book, hoping it can also help you and me change habits and become better selves. James Clear is a successful American habit training expert. When he was little, he dreamed of becoming a professional baseball player, but unfortunately had an accident in 10th grade when he was hit in the face by a bat, seriously injured. After surgery, his eyesight deteriorated and he would have epileptic seizures from time to time, so he had to quit the school team and his dream was shattered. However, James did not give up. He started from the details, through cultivating good habits such as focused learning, persevering in exercise, maintaining regular hours, he regained success. By the time he graduated from university, he not only rejoined the baseball school team, but also obtained the highest honor in the United States, the President's Award. From the ups and downs in his life, James deeply realized the power of habits. He wrote this bestseller Atomic Habits based on his years of research on habits, which has helped tens of thousands of people find ways to change their destiny. So how can we succeed through habits? James proposed a very important point: do not just stare at the goal, but pay attention to the entire system of habit formation. Many people want to change their destiny by getting up early, so they set a goal, such as getting up at 6 a.m. every day no matter how late they sleep. But in actual operation, it often fails to persist for a few days, and then returns to its original state afterwards. James believed that we should not just focus on the goal, but pay attention to the whole system of establishing habits. For example, you can't directly go from getting up at 9 a.m. to getting up at 6 a.m., which is too drastic for the brain and unrealistic. Instead, you can start by getting up 5 minutes earlier than yesterday every day. After a while, your biological clock will slowly adjust to 6 a.m. Or you can first set the alarm to 7:30 a.m., stick to it for a week, and then adjust it to 7 a.m., and so on to gradually make it earlier. Only by paying attention to these details can new habits really form. In addition to paying attention to the system, James also summarized a 4-step model for developing habits: cues, craving, response, and reward. These 4 steps correspond to 4 habit laws. Mastering these 4 laws can more easily develop good habits. The first law is to make the habit obvious. For example, if you want to exercise in the morning, you can put a reminder note next to your sneakers, so that when you see the sneakers you are reminded that you need to exercise. Or put your exercise clothes on the bedside so you see them first thing in the morning. The second law is to make the habit attractive. For example, you can ask 2 friends to run together in the morning to get a sense of group approval. Or imagine the sense of accomplishment after exercise, which can motivate your intrinsic motivation. The third law is to make the habit simple and easy. For example, start with 2 minutes of sit-ups every day, then increase to 5 minutes and 10 minutes after a while. Giving habits a very low starting point makes it easier for people to start taking action. The fourth law is to get rewards. For example, buy yourself a coveted piece of clothing after you wake up early for a week. Timely rewards reinforce habits. Let me give a specific example to illustrate the application of this 4-step model. Suppose I want to develop the habit of morning runs. I can do this. Step 1. Put sneakers and clothes on the bedside, so you see them as soon as you open your eyes, as a cue. Step 2. Imagine the delightful feeling after running. This creates a craving. Step 3. Start by running 2 minutes at home, simple and easy. Step 4. Reward myself with a latte at the coffee shop after running 5 days in a week. Habits cultivated through this 4-step model will greatly increase the success rate. However, habit formation takes time and cannot happen overnight. James mentioned that it is imperative to prevent halfway retreats and deal with the habit plateau. What is a plateau? For example, after insisting on morning runs for a month, body weight will decrease significantly. But after a while, the rate of weight loss will slow down, or even stagnate for a period of time. It's easy to give up during this time if you encounter setbacks. At this point, it is recommended to record your habit process and see how far you've come, so you have the motivation to persist. When the plateau period is over, the effects of the habit will emerge again. Another method is to constantly increase the difficulty to make yourself feel challenged. For example, you can increase from running 2 kilometers every day to 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers and so on. New challenges will re-stimulate motivation. In the process, it is imperative to always remember that habits are just a tool, and the ultimate goal is growth. Don't lose confidence because of failure. The key is to maintain an overall direction of progress. James's father once told him, "We get better not for anything, but to get better." This reminds us to focus on the process, not the outcome. Alright, let me just briefly introduce it here today. I think everyone can take a look at Atomic Habits. It provides very practical methods for developing good habits. I hope through today's sharing, you can find new inspiration to change habits. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.